Nandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamuna, ich glaube, so ist es nicht da drin. Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jayarada Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jayarada Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jannavallava Girivanadari
Gopi Jannavallabha Girivanadari
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ich brauche das deutsche Liederbuch, spanische Liederbuch, englische Liederbuch. Die 3 Liederbücher brauche ich in der Ecke. Wir machen ein paar Aufnahmen nach der Klasse. Und die brauche ich da, wer besorgt mir die? Spanisch, Englisch, Deutsch. Alles da, schön hingelegt. Und am besten jetzt gleich fertig haben und auch Siddhanta rufen mit der Gitarre. Today, let us study a little bit the phenomena of sound. It's a very elevated topic. It is so elevated. Hey. It is so elevated that it is the carrier of all. It is the sustenance of all. In the initial, there was the sound, there was the word. You see, divine sound. We can identify divine sound as divine cosmic sound. Our relationship with sound is fundamental. Divine cosmic sound. All the scriptures start with the Om. The first understanding of the Om is A, U, M. A stands for Akara and also for Krishna. U stands for Radha in our Siddhanta explanation, and the M stands for Jiva. It is the Aum. This supporting, swinging sound is the jiva. It is the participation of all souls. Now, as we are directing ourselves towards divine sound, we find a few things, like we find in the Jewish tradition there, the Om is the end, Shalom. In the Christian tradition it became the Amen. In the Toltec tradition, and I'm not so prepared on that topic, but we have a name of God says Om Totl. Om Totl. This Om Totl becomes the nickname of God. Invocation of God in traditional Mexican. Ometotl is from Mexico. It's a Nahuatl. It's the language of the Toltecs and of other tribes also. So again we find the Om. You see, to a certain degree, I am just reflecting on my own studies without necessarily everything being able to bring it with some scriptural evidence. But if we think about divine sound is divine because it is supported by truth plus, like Srila Maharaj used to say, the intention, the truth and the, I'm searching for his exact expression, how he said, and the purity in purpose. Now, sound is the underlying principle of all, because sound modulates matter. So, as matter is a substance which is a transformation of pradana into Mahatattva pradana. There's an unmanifest, invisible stage, but there is the cosmic sound. Now, very interesting, we find the divine sound of Om represented in the conch shell blowing. In the conch shell blowing, also in the sound of water. So this is very interesting. If you see every religious ceremony in South America, by the Incas, by the Arhuacos, Kogis, and in India, every single one is initiated by the blowing of the conch shell. Also, you have heard that when you're listening to a conch shell, you're hearing a sound inside. It's a sound, the cosmic sound, the omnipresent sound. Please. This is it's an invocation, it's an offering, it's entering into the sanctuary of sound. Sanctuary of sound is a sanctuary of consciousness. Because where is the sound? It is in the ear of the listener. But we are the most amazing units because we are not only listeners, but we can also be sound producing. This is a very incredible, if you think about it, this phenomena, this ear phenomena, this eye phenomena, the soul, the consciousness phenomena in connection with awareness and participation and meditation, like we have our mantras which we meditate upon, which means we make them sound in our mind, like the Gayatri mantra. You vibrate it. And this is a sound, so it actually goes in the chanting of the mantra into the subtle sphere, the content of the mantra. The content of the mantra vibrates beyond what is hearable. Just like thought, no? You cannot see thought, but everything is based on thought. And thought is the pushing element. By thought, you all came to this class this morning. Thank you. Making my life very happy and successful. Because if you don't meet anybody in the morning for class, then it's not so nice. Because everything is there in sadhu sangha. We have to keep the right association. What does it mean? The people who generate this type of sound. That is the right association, where sound supported by the truth and the purity in purpose is existing. So, because the good association generates sounds, so we have the manifestation of that in this wonderful phenomena called harikatha. Harikatha. Now, in all traditions, in all religious traditions, the praise the Lord. Praise the Lord is harikatha. You can sing bhajan, so many ways of harikatha, no? Bhajan, japa, kirtan, writing, listening to classes. All these are different forms of harikatha, always permeated by divine sound. Now, this is the cosmic sound, this is the basis. Now, harikatha opens the whole world. Now, since sound can be also in the mood of exploitation, and then there is the aspiration for the sound of indifference, and indifference takes us practically to an artificial state of silence. We want to silence, we want to stop involvement, the commitment of sound, because sound is also committing. Now I'm talking to you, so I'm committed to you. So it's a special thing. And then there is the sound of dedication. This is the dedication. So we have purity in purpose. This is one thing. And then we have the quality of intention. The quality of intention that is being brought about and produced by the harikatha. Because by the harikatha, the quality of intention is that I want to glorify the Lord, I want to be with the Lord, I want to join my consciousness eternally with Him. The sounds of in the sounds of exploitation, I have a lot of nonsense going on. Practically the whole world is full of the sounds of exploitation. If you consider that every word spoken in the world, it is somehow or other traveling. In the most subtlest of the subtlest form, even what I say now reaches Australia. And all what they say in Australia also reaches here, but we can't hear it, no? So sounds, what is big wave? There's electric waves, electromagnetic waves, which are attached to it by some amplification. I mean, I was a radio amateur when I was a young guy, so I would just sit there with my little CQ, 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 and then all of a sudden I hear one, tuck, 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 hearing you, Roger, where are you? Oh, I'm here in South America. Really? I'm talking to you from Singapore. And then you were, wow, and that was like a hobby. We didn't use it for the hobby, we used it for service. Because at that time our farm in Colombia was unreachable. There was no telephone, nothing to that. So I met a person who was a radio amateur, and he taught me how one becomes a radio amateur. So I installed an equipment in our temple in Bogota and another equipment in our farm, so we could talk over the I forgot which meter it was, like 10 meters or there's many types of wavelengths which you can talk on. The FM 2 meter is the citizen band which you used, but there's like other 80 meters and then 80 meter waves there. And short wave and all this stuff, no? Electronical signs of communication. But so there are so many waves, so many sound vibrations. It's scary, no? All the nonsense, all the energy, because with the sound vibration comes also a mental energy, a certain type of consciousness. We are in the age of Kali Yuga, no? So there's also a certain energy which brings a certain sound vibration, which brings about an age. No, this is like, this is a very amazing. If you think about this whole thing, this is, in our modern world, we are totally underestimating the importance of the details. What is actually behind. Even those scientists, they will go really deep and they will explore, and with the intention of how do we make good business with this, how we take advantage of this and this and this and that, but they don't come to ask, where's this sound all coming from? And what is this sound all about? And what is this sound all for? Where this sound can lead us? What are the full potentials of sound? What are the responsibilities of sound? So in a very unmeditative and non-prayer mood, they just take sound to be a marketing strategic tool. So I say, okay, you guys, come on, sit straight, listen carefully, take notes. Now we're going to tell you how to sell the item. And so in this way, sound is so much prominently part of everything, every school, everything. But where is it coming from? What is our real relationship to sound? This is the appropriate relationship. What is the usage? Where shall we get our sounds from? What is our power of discrimination in regards to sounds? Because sounds automatically, the sound comes, and where does it go? It goes to a filter. And this filter is your mind. You know, our modern sound software is pretty amazing. They can do so many things. What they do, they can make instant translators and so many things. So they can actually recognize a certain sound to be a certain thing and then make something out of it. But all this, whatever the most modern technology and the most modern sound softwares can produce, is nothing compared to what your mind does. Your mind is a sound filter. And now, whatever you hear, here's the source of the sound. Whatever filters through your mind, it first has to be passed by the intelligence. Passed by intelligence. To see how much trustworthy the information is which you're getting. For trustworthiness. Now, this is the filter is checking with the intelligence. Now the sound is somewhere in an even more subtle sphere inside of you, like the information I give you. Come and listen to class, it's great. And you say, who spoke? Is he trustworthy? Who is going to give the class? Is he trustworthy? What is the class going to be about? Is that a trustworthy subject? Is it beneficial? So now the filter, we have our filter is not a pure filter. We also have the three intentions. The quality of intention was already explained. What are these three intentions? Just like exploitation, it becomes the intention of the English wording here. It is basically the three intentions are Tama, Raja, and Sattva, but to not go into just immediately a Vedic paradigm, we have analyzed what they mean, what they really mean, and the intention of Sattva Guna, it can be identified as grateful, grateful, then there is selfish, and inconsiderate. This is very much in relationship to others. Grateful and wanting to make the appropriate use of something. The word has not come yet, the complete one. selfish it actually means you're in a mode of passion and you want to take advantage of something, but you apply a certain discretion to it. It's not that you do anything and everything. You also consider, maybe I shouldn't harm another person, but gonna get what I want. Whereas inconsiderate, you're just gonna go for your thing and you don't care what's in the way. If you have to bulldoze down 500 people, you don't think about it twice. You're just going to go ahead. So these are the three intentions. Now, whatever you hear after it's been checked by your quality of intelligence, because even your intelligence is already under the influence of this, but now you have a concrete intention, and according to one of these three intentions, this sound gets filtered into something which is it becomes your awareness. And from awareness you will come to decision making. Awareness produces decision making. And from decision making there can be action, or there can also be no action. So in this way, starting with divine sound and action in this world, it is a very deep and important science. And if our sound is not verified and it's not qualified, then it can mean that just we are in the turmoil of our karmic sound scenario. That's what's happened when you go to a techno party. You're in the turmoil of your karmic sound scenario, and you go and in the end of it, you're totally wiped out. Plus, you wasted time, valuable time. That's why we worship sound. We worship Mangalartik, we worship the class, we worship Japa, we worship the Gayatri. We are always in the mood of worship of divine sound. And therefore we are grateful and compassionate also. Grateful and compassionate. Compassionate. So this is actually part of the goodness, First of all, you get something, but you also consider what's happening with the other people around you, You see, okay, I got something very good, but what does it apply to? Grateful and compassionate, that represents the idea of sattva guna, no? But it is like in our own filter, it depends on our adhikar and how much we have learned so far, how much we have put into action, no? And it's just like sound is, the karmic scenario of sound, that's a very interesting thing. There are some people, they never heard about Krishna. They never heard about these descriptions. When the sound comes to the filter of their mind, they only think, does it produce money or not? That's the only thing they're thinking about it in that filter, no? Or will I get some sense gratification or not? So in this way, very, very important is the elevation of consciousness. Now, elevation of consciousness comes from the sound. Turn it around, no? We are dependent on divine sound. Completely. Therefore, it is the most natural. We are worshipping the sun for all the sun does for us. We are worshipping Mother Earth for all what Mother Earth does for us, no? And then, what's next? We have to worship sound. Sound is something so... And now, if you worship sound, can you separate the generator of the sound from the sound? If you worship sound, worship sound, and who generates it? So that's why when we're hearing a class, or so, after the class we offer our obeisance, oh Jai, thank you for receiving this sound. So worship of sound, it is something very natural, no? Just like we worship light. We do worship light because as soon as it gets dark, we're looking, where's the switch? Where's the switch? And Om Namo Light, blick. Oh. We worship light. As a matter of fact, we worship light so much that almost all of us pay for it every month. When it's dark, we have our batteries, we have our... No, what is your cell phone without a light inside? You can't see anything. So, therefore, the sounds and lights, they're also very much connected because there's divine cosmic sound. That's why the impersonalists, they always talk about divine sound and light, because they are part of the generating power and force, you know. I mean, what is the universe without light? You wouldn't even know it exists. You would have no chance to see anything. You'd be just like blind person. They are becoming entirely depending on sound because they can only see with the ear. No, they go like. I heard something here. No, I felt it too. So now I have to identify the object. Okay, by touch. So it's it's a phenomenon, no? Sound, light. We are so dependent, amazingly dependent on these elements, and they have such a transcendental origin, which is actually something very similar. Cosmic sound and light is a soul. Now that's very interesting. Wow. The soul is cosmic sound and light? Well, the soul is the one who can perceive light and sound. So if the soul would not have part of that, then it could not really perceive it either. So it actually, Jivatma or Tatashta Shakti, it is generated by the Lord in His infinite kindness of sharing. And you know, He's putting, that's what impersonalists say, sound, light, soul. But we add another one. And this is love. And when you add love to this, sounds and lights are not so important. Of course they're important because through sound I hear harikatha and I hear about the higher realities. And through light I can see the deity. I can read the Bhagavatam. So now light and sound are becoming medium. They are not it in itself. They're the carriers. What is most important is love. I mean, yeah, I can have sound and I can hear the sound of a slaughterhouse. Is that something I want to listen to? How the poor animals are screaming of their sounds of despair and pain. It's also sound, no? And light, through light I can see somebody murdering his wife. Is that what I want to see from that light? So sound and light in itself does not mean it is already from that level which my soul is aspiring for. My soul is looking for the light and sound of love. This has to be accepted, it has to be understood. Then we can come up for the orientation of our, what intentions do we want to have? There are three intentions. Do you want to have grateful and compassionate intention? You want to have selfish intention or inconsiderate intention? So a businessman, he's grateful and compassionate. I don't have no time for that. That's for the people like who want to help the world. I just want to make money, So I have no time for that. Selfish, yeah, I like that. It's I, me, mine. I, me, mine. Nothing else. Leave me alone. And then some of them, they say, selfish? There was an interview recently with a criminal who was managing Sao Paulo city from jail. The chief of the crime scene of Sao Paulo. And he granted an interview to the newspaper. Maybe you have heard it. It was quite a famous thing. And he said, we are in charge of everything because, first of all, nobody can stop us. Even now you have me in jail. This is for me the safest place. I'm very protected here. He said, and that for us, explaining what inconsiderate means, he said, for us, we have no scruples. We have no morals. We're going to get our way regardless of how many people have to die for it. It doesn't matter to us. So therefore, everybody is afraid of us because we have no scruples. Even the government has scruples. Even the government, sometimes you see people getting killed behind bars as well, but generally there's scruples because there's laws, they have to explain it. Even the death penalty is a very questioned thing because many people have been killed who later found out that they were innocent. So blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of scruple, but the criminal, he doesn't have any scruples. He said, I'm going to get what I want to get. If I have to kill a few people on the way, who cares? So in this way, inconsiderate is a very powerful force. Tamaguna is a powerful force. And you could say in Kali Yuga, this inconsiderate is managing a quite larger part of the things going on in this world. Those who are grateful and compassionate, there are a few people like you and me. We try to be grateful and compassionate, To reach the mode of goodness is not that easy either. There has to be a lot of working inside of you to actually make it there. But you see the whole scenario here is really showing you what is the purpose. Now, what does meditation do? And what does music meditation do? What is that purpose? No, because we do have some seminaries, we have some meditation classes in the inbound yoga, we have mantra meditation, and of course in the more committed spirituality, our commitment with harikatha and with chanting of our mantras becomes our life. It becomes part of us. You can't take a devotee and take away the divine sound from him. Because without divine sound, he's no more devotee. So it's something like almost a dependence. And this dependence we rejoice. But now, meditation. What is meditation really all about? Worshipping sound and who generates it. So we're going to start to meditate. Yesterday there was a very sweet little expression from George Harrison when he was asked, what do you know? What do you get from your meditation? And he said, well, I don't really nothing, but I'll see what it leads me to when I die. At the moment of death, I will see what I get from the meditation. So the meditation on the divine sound. This is, of course, like some people, they say, let's try to make our mind empty. Let's try to enter into a sphere of no contact with diverse duality. But in our meditation, we have a quite opposite. We have an opposite intent. Our intent is make the divine sound a prominent, strength-giving, criteria-giving support, so that I can go towards gratefulness and compassion consciousness and beyond. What is beyond grateful and compassion? That is called in Sanskrit Vishuddha Sattva. Actually, it points to Vishuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva. It is transcendental goodness, and it can be understood as the transcendental energy and purpose and action as well. Karma yoga means action in the elevated state of meditation. For a devotee, everything is bhajan. Everything is meditation. When he gives a class, he's meditating how to speak about this divine subject. When he gives an instruction to somebody, he's trying to think how to elevate them to higher consciousness. So Vishuddha Sattva. Now meditate is vibrate a mantra, pray, have your mind and your intelligence point at what? At sound and who generates it. So when we pray to one who generates divine sound. Because you don't pray to the electricity, for example. You say, oh, divine electricity. No. But you may pray to the electric department to please not cut off your line. Yes, oh please, be so kind. Okay, here's some money, no? So in this so pray, you can only pray to somebody who listens. Those who don't listen, you cannot listen. So you have to have already prayer. In that sense, prayer is very nice, and prayer actually means, it's like in Christians, that's what the good thing about it. Very, very good. It is something. It's called the Savisheshavad in the Nirvisheshavad. The Savisheshavad means to recognize that somebody is listening there, who you can pray to. In Nirvisheshavad, you just remain divine cosmic sound and light. It's generated who knows from where. You don't give any identification, so you just want divine light and sound to penetrate you. It's a joke, because you're made of divine sound and light. You're the soul. The soul is divine sound and light. But you're not the generator of it. I can generate a little sound. I can generate I can't generate light, but there's some fish that can. There's quite a few. These fireflies, they are having some capacity in their body to contain, to contain light. Pretty amazing, like an inbuilt battery or something, I mean, we don't have that, human beings, so-called sophisticated fellows, You don't even have the ability of a silly firefly, if you see them, I mean, in Santa Marta at night time, when it's getting dark, we don't have electricity in our farm. Oh, then everything lights up in the bushes. There's billions and billions of fireflies, and you go, wow. Huh? Especially when it's a Amavasya, it's the new moon. You can't believe how much light is there in the bushes everywhere. So there's quite some ability to have light inside, huh? But not for you. That's for the fireflies. There's fish that generate light. Different things, Yeah. Especially the fish who are living like 3,000-4,000 meters below the surface. When you see them, it's amazing. They have light. And Krishna fulfills all desires. You want to get your own light? Become a fish underwater and you'll be able to light up the dark. And there's a lot of dark down there, and I tell you that one, So, sound and light without the one who generates it. Now we are reaching to the level of theism. That's what the inbound yoga stands for. Inbound yoga is leading us up to really understand that everything is being generated. It's just like what people do in Christmas. They go and see their mother if she's still alive, no? Because she generated your body, so you have a holy night, or there must be something holy, so there must be gratefulness, so there must be my mother. Somebody, I can tell you, because nobody goes in holy night or in such a saying, just say, well, majority of my body is water anyway, so let me worship 50 liters of water. Huh? Here you are, dear water. Thank you for being myself and having generated me. No, nobody does that. Nobody in the world. I mean, we worship holy rivers, we worship the sacredness of water, but we don't worship the water as water. We don't worship the water in the chemical constitution of the water. Nobody has H2O on the altar. Huh? Oh, there's my secret formula. But it is something, a carrier. So sound and light, they're the carriers for the soul to love. So this is really, that's what meditation is all about. That's why we don't sit together with the meditators and we just vibrate a sound and they feel happy, we feel happy, but we don't give them any insight. This is the Siddhanta, the understanding behind divine sound and meditating and positioning and consciousness and awareness and responsibility and all this. So it's very solid and important. So whoever prayed, now we don't know what this people or that people meditate upon because it depends on their intention. What was their intention? What happened in the filter of their mind? What happened when the information passed out by their intelligence? And then finally, what will they arise as conclusions? What will be their decision making? So therefore, actually, you could say that mantra meditation is a process of educating and directing a person's consciousness to its personal well-being, to its perfect interest. Like, for example, if somebody in his meditation accepts that he is a servant of the truth, then he will automatically become a very positive element of our human society, because the truth has an expanded element in everybody. None of us is separate from the truth. Even the demons are included in the truth. That is, nobody can say, oh, this element just came out from the non-truth. No, because it's all part of the truth. And that is a phenomena which only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could address satisfactorily when he said simultaneously one and different. So Yoga Maya, Maha Maya, two different elements, but they have the same root. And actually, if we start meditating on the explanations which the Gaudiya teachers or the yoga teachers of the path of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what they have given us, they have shown us that really the purpose of meditation, the purpose of all this is the flow of divine emotions. And emotions is something like rasa, rasic, tastes. This is a very complex situation here. It is so complex that you can hardly utilize words, common words, to give some kind of a real understanding what is going on here. No, for example, we utilize very often the word sentiment. Oh, and then you say, oh, he's so sentimental. And what is sentimental? It is something he feels which was produced on his mind. But sentimental, it may be tamaguna sentimental, rajaguna sentimental, sattvaguna sentimental. So we don't like the word sentimental, because it is already on a very lower confined situation. Therefore, we don't want to produce sentimentalism through our meditation, but we do want to create a flow of divine emotions, of rasas, of spiritual attachment. And there is even one more, and that is we are in the meditation, we are aspiring to become transparent via medias. That means if you become a transparent via media, then you could understand that something real has happened. It's not that you are presenting your mental filter, but you actually allow divine cosmic sound and its respective meaning to go through you and to go further to others. Unless you reach to be a transparent via media, we could not say that your meditation has really had a very tangible result. I mean, it's good to simply perceive all these things. It's good to have a clear idea what's happening, what is the reason, because if you do not give any recognition, if you do not give any gratefulness to who has generated the divine sound, then you are simply like eating the food, not saying thanks, and not have any awareness how such nice food actually reached you. So this is not very high state of consciousness, especially when tomorrow, for some reason, no food will reach you. You will really start worrying, why didn't I know where it came from? How is it possible? Now there's no more food coming. Now I start worrying. Now I start conceiving, oh, looks like there's something to be cared about. So in the same way, what generates the sound, we have to worship it. And that's the process of Bhakti Yoga. This is in Bhakti Yoga. The Bhakti Yoga is that love which becomes a kind of you could say an exercise. Bhakti Bhakti, Rati, Prem, Bhav. There are so many words dealing with love and feelings and appreciation in the realm of the Vaishnava vocabulary. They are qualifying in the development of the individual. So therefore an individual ends up with a certain type of devotional emotion, a certain type of enthusiasm, a certain type of dedication, like my purpose, because I'm a community former. This is one of my service. So my job is that I'm standing here in front of this very laudable and respectable congregation of listeners, and I have to think, oh, go look at Hari. What is he going to do to push onwards the growth and the joy of all? And oh, Mandalivada, yet he's very much important that Vinda Kunja is keeping flying high with nectar. And then, oh, Gopala Tapani Upanishad, my God, a Sankirtan man, a visionary, he likes Kirtan, so he's going to be also a great enthusiasm and care and love for others. So bringing people to Krishna's lotus feet. And Shanket, yes, she's sitting in the entrance. She has so much love to give. Let's see how we get her in the right place where she can touch everybody's heart, because that is the transparent via media. I'm not speaking about Shanket because she's a nice-looking girl. No, that's nothing, you know. How many nice-looking girls are there? Usually dancing in cabaret, and doing nothing. I mean, what do they do, you know? And the only thing people looking at, they want to look under their skirt, you know. I mean, what kind of a thing is that, you know? So, no. Here we're talking about a totally different sphere, no? We're talking about that each and every one in their bhakti, in their devotion, in their bhav, they can become transparent via media of communicating the real meaning of divine sound. This is the school of divine sound. That's why we start every morning, every mantra, Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Shakshurun Militam Jini Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my most humble obeisances to my spiritual master, who has opened my eyes when I was in the deepest darkness of ignorance. To him I salute and obey. So, Om, divine sound, divine commitment, divine gratefulness. This is all what makes the meditation successful. So when we are doing meditation seminars, music meditation seminars, first we have to teach this to them. Or alongside with the meditation we have to filter it in, that in the end they get an idea of that. Because if not, like some people, they may make meditation seminars and they just do it like you see some people, they're just like bogus, you know. They just say, oh yes, let's meditate on divine sound, and they bang one of those Tibetan gongs or something. They go, ooh, ooh. Then can you feel it? Oh, yeah. Do it again. Do you feel it now? Well, not really, but I felt something in the ear when the pitch went up, you know. You know, there's a certain pitch, you know, like a certain pitch in sound which is really awakening, like this one. Ah! It works, no? So the sound is is a very powerful element, you know. It can generate awareness of somebody's presence. In the traffic, they use that in the form of so at least the guy hears you're coming, no? So, but we don't have a meditation seminar to hear two different horns. This is not meditation. So in the same way, if we just hear the sound of anything which doesn't have the consciousness, the connection, the bath, the intentions, whether these things are not taken into consideration, this is just hoax. It's just cheating people. It's not, of course. If somebody is lucky enough to hear harikatha and hear a beautiful bhajan by Vaishnava, his heart may be touched without knowing. That is actually sound meditation. When you're hearing from a sincere devotee generated some sound which comes from his heart, which is generated by him for the purpose of serving God and also touching your heart, because what is our prayer? What is our topmost meditation prayer? It is, oh my Lord. There we also have the oh. Oh my Lord, please let me be. Lord, that is, please let me be. Actually, it means become, or be, or become. An instrument of your love. It's a very universal mantra. Nobody can argue with it, no? And with such a nice beginning, oh my Lord, please let me be an instrument of your love. Oh my Lord, please let me be an instrument of your love. So you see, mantra meditation, sound, divine sound, cosmic light, true love is the soul's concern for the origin of all, which is soul and super soul. Only when you know when and by whom and for what your existence has been generated, you reaching self-realization. This is something you have to recognize by utilizing your common sense. And how do you get there? That is a very big question. How do you get there? But the meditation is the stepping stone towards approaching all this. So therefore, when people come to our mantra meditation, to our music meditation, then we have a chance to try to make divine sound reach their heart. And coming back to my service, it is my intention not only to reach your heart, but through your heart reach your awareness, decision making, and your action. Because when you go back to Bulgaria or you go to Sweden, all you do there will depend on you. And I won't be there, but divine sound can be there with you. All you have to do is chant the mantras, vibrate the sound, keep in contact with the divine sound, keep in contact with the gratefulness and compassion, or hopefully with transcendental energy and purpose and action. Means Vishuddha Sattva, that when you have some understanding, some realization that you should actually be an activist an activist of divine sound and you want to become a via media, this is like something like, why do you want to go to a company to get a job? Well, it's very simple. You go to a company because you want to have a job. Now your visit to the company is not successful until you get the job. If you don't get the job and they send you home empty-handed, then you lost your day. If you do that every day, you go to a different company and every day you get rejected, after a while you're going to be in serious problems, right? So the same thing is with the meditation. If you meditate and you don't connect to anything, then after a while you get bored, you become hungry, you become unsatisfied, you become like that. So we approach anything to get a commitment, to get a connection. And the connection means something where you have to give and also where you get something. Because actually the secret is there. You are getting in the giving. And this is something, MC Yogi just made a very nice song about that. It's worth looking. That you get by the giving. The more you give, the more you get. And the more you give without wanting to get, then even more you get. So it's the intention. It's coming back to the intention. So therefore, here we are talking about the divine sound meditation and the coming in contact with that which generates consciousness, which generates soul, which generates dedication, which generates gratefulness, which generates compassion, which generates spiritual emotion, bhava, which generates divine love, which generates eternal life. So, what more can I say? I hope you have a good journey, and on your way back home you'll be always in contact with that divine sound which makes life successful. And when people come to a yoga session or to a meditation class, that's what they're looking for. It's exactly that. They are not looking for meditating on sound to get stuck with a certain sound or no. They are always, the sound and the light are the stepping stones to love. Everybody is looking for happiness and love, and there is no happiness without love. That's another thing you have to understand, that light and sound, they are not giving that greatest happiness of love in itself. Only love gives love. Love generates love. Love multiplies love, and love comes from the Supreme Lover. And who is that Supreme Lover? Well, the one who loves all. The one who loves you. It's the one who's supplying you with food, with everything you have. He's the one you don't know because you have not turned your heart towards him. You have not been purified by the influence of divine soul, sound, harikatha, all this information. There's a world of information here. And this all, when you get it from the appropriate source, it will have the power of transformation beyond the shadow of a doubt. Thank you very much for listening. Now we're going to prepare for our recording here. But if you have any question on this, don't hesitate to ask.
Yes. What is Vishuddharaja?
Vishuddha, it is transcendental energy and purpose and action.
No, what I reported is Vishuddharaja.
Vishuddha.
But there should be also Vishuddharaja. Eh?
No.
No.
No. Vishuddha Sattva is a higher stage than Sattva Guna. Sattva, it's Vishuddha Sattva, it's divine goodness. So you don't have Vishuddha Tamas? No. Any other question? No more, okay? Then I request you to go upstairs, or if you stay here, you have to stay totally silent, no movement here and there, because we are going to record something, taking advantage of this nice equipment which Lalita Malva has organized here, which is going to be a nice meditation music here. So please be careful. I don't even want to hear this. No, nothing. To be really silent and concentrated. Or go upstairs and chit-chat. Talk about Krishna.
Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahamsa Parivrachakacharya Stotra Sachi Shrimad Bhakti Alok Paramadvaiti Maharaj Gurudeva Ki Jai. Best Gurudeva Ki Jai. Our Gurudeva Ki Jai.